How y'all doing today? It's your boy Jermaine from Hognose Hogs back with another video. And so for this video, I'm going to give y'all an update on all my snakes. If y'all been watching my latest videos, you know that I've recently added 3 more to the collection. So right now I have 10 plains hognoses, or if you want to call them western hognoses. I have 1 eastern hognose and I have a corn snake. And so whenever I do like my feeding videos, I always refer to them as the names that I gave them, like Sassy, Cheeto, and Noodle. But if you're new to hognoses, you may not know what morph that animal is. So with this video, I'm going to go through each of my snakes and I'm going to kind of just describe each one of them in terms of the morph and genetics that they are. So stay tuned. So the first snake that I want to show you is my normal female. I call her Sassy. So she's just basically a wild type hognose that you'll find in the wild. No morphs. From my understanding, I'm not sure if she has any hets. I got her off of Craigslist. I'm not even sure, sometime earlier this year. And I'm not sure exactly her age. She's 70 grams right now, so I think she was born late 2019 or early 2020. So she's basically about the size of an adult male hognose, but like I said, she is just a normal phase hognose. She's also my most hissy and bitey, not really bitey, but bluff striking hognose. All right, so the second snake I'm gonna show you is one of my newest girls, and she is a normal or a wild type morph, but she carries 1 copy of the leucistic gene. So since the leucistic gene is a recessive, then whenever they have 1 copy, you visually can't see it. So a snake would need to have 2 copies of that gene for you to visually see an all-white snake. So she looks similar to Sassy, but she actually has more of a richer browns in her saddles. So the normal hognose snakes, there's a lot of variety to them, and she's one of them. So she's my last normal phase, or my her and Sassy are my 2 only normal phase hognose snakes. All right, so next up is my snake named Steve, and he is a normal color hognose snake, but as you can see, he has a reduction in pattern, which is known as the Anaconda gene. So this is an incomplete dominant gene, so all you need is 1 copy of the gene to have a pattern reduction. If he was to have 2 copies of the Anaconda gene, he would be completely patternless other than the pattern on his head stem. And so from a visual standpoint, he's just Anaconda, but he also is a carrier of 2 recessive genes, the albino as well as the sable gene. All right, so the next Anaconda phase hognose, like I say, with just a hognose with just a pattern reduction, is my adult female named Tofu, and she is my oldest as well as my largest hognose. Hopefully I can breed her in 2021. And she was sold to me as an Anaconda Arctic, but I don't really see any kind of Arctic in her. If she does have the Arctic gene, she's a very low expression. So I just kind of go by the Anaconda. And as you can see, most Anacondas have a very dark belly, as you can see with her, and you can see that nice pattern reduction. All right, so the next snake I'm gonna show you is my hognose. I named her Hazel, and she is another Anaconda phase hognose, but she has a very unique pattern going along her belly, and the Anaconda gene has a lot of variation. As you can see, she has that dark belly, which is usually the case for the Anaconda gene, and she also has like a nice brownish color. From my knowledge, I don't think she carries any recessive gene. All right, the next snake I have is my boy Diablo, and so he has both of the incomplete dominant genes in hognose snakes, so he is what you call a super Arctic conda. So from the Anaconda gene, as you can see, he has that pattern reduction. And then he has one copy of the Anaconda gene, and he has 2 copies of the Arctic gene, which basically brings a lot of contrast between his saddles or his patterns and his background color. And also you can see his eye is completely black, his pupil and his iris. And as you can see, he has that dark belly, which is reminiscent of the Anaconda gene. And yeah, he's a really nice looking snake. And he also, I don't know if the camera can pick up, he has like this pinkish color to him as well. His background is not completely white or gray. It has like a pink undertone to it. All right, now we can get into my snakes that have visual recessive genes. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is my very first Hognose, and this is Noodle. So he is an Arctic albino. So he has 1 copy of the Arctic gene and 2 copies of the albino gene. So as you can see, he's kind of more of like a yellowish snake. Very pretty. All right, next snake is Cheeto, and she is a double visual recessive. So she has 2 copies of the sable gene as well as 2 copies of the albino gene. So she's also known as the sunburst, and you get like an orange snake like this. All right, so my next double visual recessive will be this little girl right here who I just got. And so she has 2 copies of the toffee gene as well as 2 copies of the xanthic gene. So you get kind of like a silverish animal. This combination is also known as a toxic. All right, next up we have this little girl right here, and she's also a double visual recessive. So she has 2 copies of the albino gene and 2 copies of the pink pastel albino gene, which are actually 2 different genes. And so the combination of these 2 is also known as an electric. All right, so switching off of the plains hognose, I now have my male eastern hognose, Onyx. And so he is a melanistic eastern hognose. Both of his parents were melanistic. So as you can see, he does have like a little yellow around his head, and he has pattern along his body. But as he ages, he will eventually become jet black. All right, and my last snake is my corn snake, and she is a double visual recessive. So she's a combination of the albino gene and the charcoal gene, also known as a blizzard. So they basically start off as very pink snakes, but then as she ages, she will eventually turn pure white. And she also has a little bit of yellow under her chin. So that yellow, she's gonna have a little yellow as well. All right, and that's it. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video going over all my hognose snakes. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to this channel, like the video, and leave a comment, and I'll see y'all for the next one.